Hey, what's good, people? Zensphere here with another Renoise tutorial. This time I've got a little quick hack to show you that you can use to create some really interesting and crazy modulation feedback using a signal follower and a Hydra and an effect unit of your choice or multiple effect units of your choice. Just for a quick example of what this may possibly sound like, we've got this sound set up here. And just by changing various parameters, we can tweak this sound considerably. So I'll show you how this is done. It's really simple and straightforward. Shout out to user Oops I Fly on the Renoise forums for sharing this trick. It's a good one. So I'm just going to open up a new instrument here and open up my modulation feedback effects chain. And this is really simple. It's just a signal follower going into a Hydra. And the signal follower output is set to the Hydra input. Now, it's a limitation of the signal follower that it can only impact modulation to the right of the device. And this is to kind of prohibit signal feedback. But the Hydra has no such limitation. So if you're using the input of the Hydra as the destination, you can then set the output of the Hydra to any device in any effect chain. So what we're going to do is place an effect unit to the left of the signal follower so that it's first in the chain and then feeding into the signal follower. And then the signal follower is feeding into the Hydra. And then we can use the Hydra to impact modulation destinations on this device that's to the left of the signal follower. So I'm just going to pull up a waveform. We'll just use something really simple, like a little zip of white noise. I'm just going to take a little 128th of my white noise and we'll fade it out. So we just have a simple click. Let's hear what that sounds like without any modulation on it whatsoever. Oops, let's see, we want this to no loop. So we've just got a little simple click here. And then if it's going through the multi-tap filter, or sorry, the multi-tap delay unit, it'll sound kind of like you would expect. We've got this 142.86 millisecond delay, feedback at 50%. It behaves as you would expect it to. But then this signal is running into the signal follower, and we can see that happening here. And the output is impacting the Hydra. Now, if we take our Hydra outputs and feed it back into our multi-tap delay unit, we can get some interesting results. So just a nice simple thing to start with would be our delay time. And you can hear now that we're getting some unusual results and some unusual behavior where the signal is feeding back into itself and triggering the signal follower, which in turn is triggering the delay time values. So I would set this to maybe something a little more usable. We're going to go 100 milliseconds here and 100 milliseconds here, just to kind of keep it in a tighter range. You can also, of course, control the range using the destination min and max sliders on the signal follower. So depending on what kinds of effects you're trying to achieve, that might be a more practical way of doing this. And now we can hear we have this changing delay time value. And if we turn up our feedback, we start to get some interesting stuff happening. Now, word of caution, you probably want to avoid feedback values on any effects unit that you're using this method to process of 100%. So keep it under 100 if you want to preserve the integrity of your ears and your monitoring equipment, whatever that may be. That's probably why this technique isn't available out of the bat, or out of the gate rather, right off the bat, to mix metaphors. so that it prevents any, kind of unwarranted feedback from injuring Renoise users and or their equipment. So caveat emptor, buyer beware. There is some risk involved in this technique, but we're all adults here, or maybe we're not. But yeah, be smart. Don't blow your ears out or your speakers out, because that shit sucks. All right. So then playing with various parameters on the signal follower, we can dial in this sound to our liking. Sensitivity and release, attack can impact the characteristic as well. You can also play with these filtering options, which filter the signal that's passing through to the signal follower. So I kind of like that, so I'm just going to leave it there, but let's hear what it sounds like if we play with the release. Sometimes very short release values can increase the unpredictability of the effect. So play with that, see what you find, see what you like. Now the Hydra is great because we've got these 9 modulation destinations, and so we can affect more parameters on our initial effect unit. So let's try tap 1 filter frequency and see how that impacts the sound. Let's open up our tap 1 so we can see what we're doing here. So this, when it's low passed all the way, we're cutting out our signal and we're kind of losing our feedback. So let's bring this up somewhat. Let's do, I don't know, try that. And that tames some of the high frequency content of our signal. In any case, you can, experiment with all kinds of different modulations, all kinds of different effect units. This is really versatile for creating like some strange, like warbling type of effects, some really interesting, like glitchy, granular style effects. Yeah, experiment. I've used this with the gate device and the chorus device and the flanger device and the phaser device, and all of them yield some interesting results depending on what your modulation targets are. So yeah, that's it for today. Just a quick little technique. Wanted to share this because I think it's kind of powerful and kind of interesting for getting unusual results. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you have any ideas for future videos, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, just keep being awesome and make lots of music. Peace.